Good morning, TikTokers. How you doing? How you been? I'm author Daniels, and yes, I'm back again. I don't even have to invite y'all in to get with me. We just gonna roll because, as you can see, I already know where y'all are. I can see it because see, I came in glasses off, ready to talk. Why were my glasses off? Because I have a headache. I absolutely do. I know that we live in a world of opinions. I also know how unproductive it can be to allow everyone to have a voice because there's so many different voices, and at some point you got to cut some voices off so that decisions can be made because not everybody is always going to agree with everybody else. I get that. And that's where the struggle is with a lot of things. We could talk about that kind of thing later because I have something else on my absolute threshold. And what it is, and it's really not a judgment, it's an opinion. I watched this couple, and I don't necessarily like or dislike them. Some of the things that they share make me cringe. And other things I believe are wholesome. And then there's some things that are funny. And then there's some things that are just downright outrageous and ridiculous to me. But isn't that how we live? Isn't that a description of life itself? But today I was watching a video where, and I'm not going to mention any names because that's not necessary. If you don't know the social media platform that I'm talking about, then you just don't know it. At any rate, today she was talking about her 8-year old, and then later she made a video with her 5 and 7-year old, discussing where their brother or sister is coming from because she's currently pregnant. So she's asking the 8-year old where the baby is and how it's going to come out. And she's very candid, telling him that, where the baby is, how it got there, and how it's going to come out. And she concludes the video asking him, does he want to help push the baby out? And that's where I got a headache because he's 8. And in my opinion, I would wait at least until the child is 12. Let them have a life. I know honesty is good, but they're going to get to that. They will. They're not missing out on anything. You don't have to expose your children to everything just because it's the reality of life. Save some stuff. It's like for me, I'm very sexual. But for me, the most sexiest thing is not a body revealed in full flesh. It's the slightly hidden things. Like I love to see a man in a suit. Allow my imagination to run wild. That is very sexy to me. But some people want to see the full Monty. I have a vivid imagination. I don't necessarily need to see the full Monty. And sometimes a full Monty can be disappointing. So your fantasy was better. So living that might be worth your while. I just threw that out there. Pick it up if you can, or leave it on the floor where it fell. Whatever, it's up to you. It's your choice. Back to the exposing of children. I think it's harmful to expose children to sexualities too soon. And in my experience, what I have seen and what I am finding is that whatever exposure a mind receives first, that's the one that permeates with them and sticks with them. Like if you're raped in adolescence A lot of people become attracted to that experience that they had. They like it rough, they like it hard. Uh, if you were a male child and you were raped, it could lead to identifying with homosexuality. It's these first impressions that stick. It's like learning your first language. We could learn to speak any language, but the one that we're primarily exposed to, that's the one we choose and that's the one we use. And I think exposure to sexuality works pretty much the same way. So, in my opinion, I don't think it's wise to expose children that early to the reality of life. That can wait. But that's my opinion. And that's how I'm living. So when I saw this video, I just cringed. And then right after that, she puts up the next one where she goes to the 5 and 7-year-old and does that exact same thing. Ooh, no, no kudos from this one. Y'all gonna do what you want to do regardless. But as for me, I believe that to be dangerous and reckless. Just like when I was raising my children, my sister and I had a doozy of an argument because we were at my mother's house and my child, I think she was about 8, and my sister was playing some rancid music. Some song by some woman that was my neck, my back, my cha-cha, and my crack. kind of went something like that. I come in the house and my daughter is dancing and enjoying this music. She don't realize what she's listening to. I hit the roof. And whatever little bit of mine that was sound, I lost it in that moment. I was like, how dare you play this music in front of my child? And so my sister submitted to me, well, she's going to get this out in the world. Society is going to teach her this anyway. And I said, you know what? You may be right. Society will expose her to all of that. But see, society, it's not in my house. I'm in my house. I have chosen not to expose my child to that type of thing. If you want to expose your children to it, that's your business. But see, you're not at home. You're at our mother's house. So you should ask permission about what each of us as individuals, because it was a family gathering, we were all there. I said, you should have asked all of us how we felt about what type of playlist you intended to put on for our children. And so my mother, poor thing, she didn't know what to do. So I said, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going home. I refuse to participate in this. And I have always been that way. I'm not going to force myself on anyone, but I'm not going to allow anyone to force themselves on me either. Which is another reason why I made sure that I am able to maintain and establish my own home. Because if I ever see something that I don't like and I don't agree with, I know how to go home and I have a home to go to. So I behoove you to know who you are, to tolerate those things that you want to tolerate, and you won't always have control. I've worked some jobs where I had to submit to a higher authority and things that I didn't agree with. Some of those things were traumatic, others, it's whatever. But at the end of the day, I will always say, whose life is it anyway? Because I'm going to live mine. I'm Arthur Daniels. That's my opinion. Because I always have at least 2 cents. If I don't have any sense, I at least have 2. So, again, I'm Arthur Daniels. I will talk to you all later. Bye-bye.